Hello and welcome to Point of View. This is the Honda Civic Type-R FN2. It's a bit dirty right now, but it is Milano red. A perfect paint job for this car, in my opinion. Wheels have been painted metallic, dark grey or something. It's silver from stock. This is the GT version, so it has xenon headlights. You can see the washers here. It's a very nice looking car, in need of a polish really, but that's a different story. So to open up the car, this is the key. No keyless entry here, just old school regular key fob. To start the car up, this is a bit different from a regular just turn and start. First of all, you put the key in, clutch in, you turn the key, let's turn the volume down, and then you have to push and hold the engine start button. And now the car fires up. Now sitting inside, a quick talk about the seats, which are absolutely amazing. Type R logo, basically bucket seats with Alcantara-ish material on the sides and cloth. Just, oh my god, look at the dust. With cloth in the middle and in the backrest. Now there is no heated seat option in this car, but really there's no need for it, because the cloth seats they're perfect for winter because they don't get cold, and they're perfect for summer because they don't get that hot. Yeah, I like them. The rest of the interior, this is an old car from 2007. Yeah, the plastics really, they don't handle criticism very well across the interior really. The nice things, fortunately, are the things you touch, which are the gear lever and the steering wheel. But this is a driver's car, so let's take it for a spin. And anyways, I can't talk about the interior much because really there's not much to talk about. But the engine, that's something I can talk about. Now, since this car does not have any turbos, yeah, the torque is poor and there is not much go from the lower RPMs. But that does not mean this car isn't fun, because 5500 RPMs, VTEC kicks in, yo, and that's where things get interesting. I'm not saying the car is, you know, bland before 5500 RPM, but yeah, it's not that exciting as well. And by the way, if you're buying this car and hoping for a fast car, sorry, look elsewhere. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.6 seconds, I think it was. 148 kilowatts and nearly 200 Newton meters of torque. Yeah, those aren't very impressive figures, but the thing you really have to remember is that this engine is smooth and linear, and there is power up to 8,700 RPM. You know, I've owned the FK2, but there is something special about that. There is something special about that power delivery, and you know, the raw feeling of this car. FK2 cars, there's so much grip that, you know, driving in city, in town, there is no loss of grip anywhere basically. Okay, in the wet, yes, downshifts are so nice. I think I learned to heel and toe. This is a nice car. Anyway, I think I learned to heel and toe about 3-4 years ago in this exact model, the FN2 Type R. Not this car per se, but basically a identical example. You know, if you tell people about this car and the numbers and the specs, and even if you know, have a passenger with you and he or she experiences the massive amount of power this car has, they're gonna be underwhelmed. I think Honda screwed the powertrain up a bit because it has the exact same power output of the EP3. Okay, it has 1 more horsepower, 1 more. But that just wasn't enough. I mean, this car could be brilliant, but it's sort of fat. Don't get me wrong, I love this car. I like the way this feels and drives, and you know, the characteristics of this car are basically spot on. Driving position, I am snug in my seat with a nice GTI in front of me. But yeah, I wish it had a bit more power, so it would be just a tiny bit more exciting. Downshifts are very nice. The feeling of the gear selector and the way the clutch operates and the smoothness, the silky smoothness of the gear changes. You just want to change and change and change, and in this car you find yourself changing or shifting gears a lot more often than you actually have to. And there is no, you know, sports mode or plus R mode like you find in the newer. Anyway, there's no plus R or sports mode like you find in newer Type R's or sports, you know, hot hatches. You just drop a few gears, wait for VTEC. Yep, there it is. Well, okay, let's talk sensible stuff, because this is a hatchback. There is some room in the boot. You can fit a small child in the back. Well, maybe an adult if he or she is a smaller example. And yeah, seats fold flat. You can, you know, even fit a bike in there if you want to. Options, there's really 2 versions of the car, GT and non-GT. What does the GT have? On top of the, you know, standard version, there is cruise control, buttons on the steering wheel for audio, xenon headlights, automatic climate control, and I think that's it. These cars are very cheap to maintain. Insurance is very low for some reason. I don't even know why, but it is. And yeah, they're fun and reliable. You know, the engines are basically bulletproof. You don't hear, you know, these engines blowing up, etc. Now, what are the 2 options I would spec in the aftermarket? Okay, three things I would do to this car. I would get a better exhaust because I think it's a bit muted. I would add the Honda ECU, which means that the VTEC kicks in at 4,000 RPM, not 5,500, and I would put a LSD differential in the front, which this car has, and it changes the characteristic of the car a lot. Exiting corners is no problem no more. thing to note that if you want to take this car to the track, you really need stronger brakes, or at least brake pads, because they do wear and they don't tolerate, you know, track day heat as well as you'd think. So in conclusion, what do I think about the FN2 Type R? Well, it's a bit fat and slow, but it gives a really fun driving experience. And yeah, the EP3 was, you know, feistier, and the FK2 was a powerhouse, but for the price, around 6,000 euros, these are in the used car market, you know, it's a very, very good car. Let's skip the plastics and all the, you know, bad stuff. Road noise is terrible as well. Suspension is hard, but remarkably softer than the FK2, I think, in plus R mode. So yeah, this was my review of the very fun Honda Civic Type R FN2. Thank you for watching. Yeah, see you again, guys. Bye.